This tutorial is how to migrate data from a StoreOnce to a QoreStore. With the StoreOnce storage, at the BackBox level, we are using Windows data store. And under the data store, we create a volume group, which is the equivalent of tape pool on the SMPC. So in that case, we have 3 volume group. One will be used for daily backup, the other can be used for weekly backup, and the last one for monthly backup. So that's the way a regular Windows data store is structured with the BackBox. Let's see the StoreOnce data store. So we have as a storage pad the StoreOnce, and we can add several spare paths in the case of unavailability of the StoreOnce. So we have the definition of the StoreOnce. So we have the storage pool, the spare pool, and the copy pool. Here our 6 volume group, 3 are attached to the StoreOnce, 3 are on the empty QoreStore. So basically, that's our starting point. We have everything under the WinStore, and all the rest is defined but with no data on it. So the first step is migration of the metadata. So basically, on the nonstop, we will use OBB05, which is the data store migration. With that OB, we define a source data store, destination data store, and for each volume group, the source and the destination on the new data store. So we save the thing, we run OBB05, and that thing, once it's done, basically make all the magic required. We have now a new data store with all the volume under that new data store, and the trick is we use a spare path pointing the legacy storage, the StoreOnce. So all the data didn't move yet, but the ownership of the virtual tape is now under the new data store, the QoreStore one. Let's look the BackBox UI. If we go to volume summary, we see the 3 volume group are under the QoreStore data store as all the data. So the trick is the data didn't move, but the data is on a spare connected to the new data store. So we have our 2 QoreStore and that spare, which is the StoreOnce with all the data on it. So the end situation is all the data sit on the spare path of the new data store. The new data store doesn't have any data on its QoreStore storage yet. So let's make a new backup using our new QoreStore data store. So for the nonstop, the fact that the ownership of the tape changed from WinStore using StoreOnce and the QoreStore is transparent. So we run the same OB file to make our backup, no change at all. The backup is now running. So we will wait until the end of that backup and we will look where the data has been written. So let's go to the storage and we can see one of the 2 QoreStore has been used as a storage. So now the new backup is on the new storage, the legacy stay on the spare pool. Eventually, we will want to decommission the legacy storage, the StoreOnce. So having all the legacy data on a spare path give us the possibility to move from the spare path to the primary storage. Because the spare is normally used if your primary storage become unavailable for any reason and you have to make a new backup, you are using that path. But it's not a normal location to put backup. So in the case of a massive migration, we are using spare path for a very long period because the move can take a couple of days, week, and even month, depending of the quantity of data we want to migrate. As you can see, we have some data in the spare on the StoreOnce path. The yellow indicates it's not normal, so we will initiate the spare move. The spare move start two workers, one on each VTC, responsible to move the data from the spare to the primary storage. We will take the data from a single StoreOnce and spread across two QoreStore, one on each VTC. So we will load balance the thing. As you can see, we have 10 and 12 files on each QoreStore. So the number of files gonna decrease on the spare and increase on the regular storage. Eventually, we want to have the spare empty. So that process can take a long time depending on the quantity of data you need to migrate. So in some case, that process can take days, weeks, and even months. So let's simulate a Windows update in middle of a spare move. So we will shut down the two VTC. So we are actually half done. We shut down the two VTC. We take a nap. And then the server is back. We are running in accelerated mode to make the thing more interesting to watch. So let's use the BackBox UI to see what's happened. So the job still running. Even we reboot the two server. If we are looking, we still have 32 files in the spare move that need to be moved to the two storage path. So if we are going to see the detail of the job, we can go and then press detail on the first job. And basically each job has the same number of objects to move, 28. And so that job tried to move the first item, but the move has been taken by the other worker. So the first one failed, the second was a success, the third one failed, etc. So they try to do the same thing, and basically they go through the list and they have a reservation mechanism to prevent to do twice the same move. If we are checking the failure only at the top of that window, we will see only the failed item for that specific job. So if we are looking the other job, it's the opposite. So the first one is a success, the second one is a failure because it was done by the other job, the third one is a success. So basically the load is balanced across the two workers. Spare move is progressing, and eventually we will complete. So now we are completed. The spare move, we have 28 objects processed by each worker, 14 move has been done by one, and 14 done by the other. So job is done. Let's take a look on the storage admin. So the StoreOnce is empty. We have file in the first QoreStore and the second QoreStore. The first one has 29 file, which is strange because we were expecting odds, even number, that file and the index file. So basically, having an odd number like that is strange. Let's make a look in the path itself. So if we open the data store path, we have the 3 volume group. If we open the first volume group, we see all the file, everything looks correct. So let's see the second volume group. Oh, that one has an orphan. So the monthly 5 as a dat file without having the index. So what probably happened is when we shut down the 2 servers during the thing, that transfer has been interrupted, and when we restart, that's been done on the other QoreStore. So that's the reason we have an extra file. And eventually the cleanup will catch that file and will just make the delete of the orphan file. So that's the conclusion of our presentation, migration from StoreOnce to QoreStore. Thank you.